welcome to Spiritual Cartel Meditation Meeting. You are now invited to make yourself comfortable and enjoy this time with your higher power. This week I am proud to introduce Kimia, who has kindly agreed to come and share for us. Kimia, over to you.
Thank you, my beautiful sister Hazel, and everybody for your amazing service week after week to this space of ours. Not just a meditation space. This space welcomes you into recovery 7 days a week. And if anyone is hearing this recording and you don't know what the cartels are doing, get interested. Come to a meeting, get involved, and be of service. And I heard someone saying, I finished my steps. So congratulations. If you have finished your steps, if you are being welcomed to sponsorship, it's broad and roomy out here. We love that for you. So welcome. Pick up a sponsee from this room. If you're looking for a sponsor, ask for it. This is where it gets real. It gets to be a big part of life. And so the miracles do happen and the promises do come true. In order for the promises to happen, we got to go through the steps. I'm the type of addict that likes the outcome. I like to read the end of the book, but I just want the summary of what's in between. And this way of living instructs me in particular that for my type of an addict that cannot stop once she starts and she has no control over how much she's taken, I got to go through the in-between. I got to know that this is a 12-step program. So if you're here from whatever walks of life, welcome. And whatever brought you here today, maybe you have only a few moments of sobriety. In this moment, you get to stay awake to the power of your breath. So we let sobriety to take a new shape in mindfulness and in being in the now. All right? So lay aside your prejudice for a moment. And hopefully for the next 20 minutes, we get to go on a journey that becomes an experience of its own. Not to be defined or deciphered, but to be experienced and to be felt. And I've picked for us a passage from the big book on page 69. Gotta have levity on that. It talks about sex and more sex. It says we do not want to be the arbiters of anyone's sex conduct. We all have sex problems. We'd hardly be human if we didn't. What can we do about them? We reviewed our own conduct over the years past. Where had we been selfish, dishonest, or inconsiderate? Who had we hurt? Did we unjustifiably arouse jealousy, suspicion, or bitterness? Where were we at fault? What should we have done instead? We got this all down on paper and looked at it. And here's the most beautiful part, and it can be applied to all of our ideals, not just our sex life. It says, in this way, we try to shape a sane and sound ideal for our future sex life, or for our future life, for our future career, or our future sponsorship life, for our future dinner. Really. We subjected each relation to this test. Was it selfish or not? We asked God to mold our ideals and help us to live up to them. We remembered always that our sex powers were God-given and therefore good, neither to be used lightly or selfishly, nor to be despised and loathed. And so I will go through the rest of this during the meditation, but what I wanted to make perhaps a point of growth for us, that it says, we remembered always that our sex powers were God-given, that all of our powers were God-given. Let that blow your mind. Let yourself be amazed. And therefore good. So none of our powers are to be used lightly or selfishly, nor to be despised and loathed. And that includes that chatter in the skull that constantly tells me I'm not enough. I can never be enough. I'm either less than or more than. Right? So let's get into this practice with this understanding that all of our powers today are God-given. Even the power that keeps us drifting away from our breath, that's a power. It allows you to come back to your breath. So whatever comes up for you in the next 20 minutes, if you can remember that you are to come back to your breath, I will remind you that all of your powers are God-given. And they're not to be used lightly or selfishly, nor to be despised and loved. So get into a space that nourishes your body and mind for a moment, whatever that might mean. If you want to lie down, if you want to stay seated, perhaps you're walking, perhaps you're driving, maybe you're still working or you're cooking. You could be in movement and still experience stillness. Get into a space that soothes your soul, gives you a moment of grounding, and reminds you that you live in a body that deserves rest. You deserve digest. And so in that, we will be united in our breath. I will be turning off my camera to improve my internet connection here and make sure there are no visual distractions. And for the next 20 minutes, hopefully we'll go on a journey within. A journey that allows us to remember who we really are and why we're really here. So go ahead and get acquainted with the space you're in. Maybe you've been in this space before, in the room, wherever you're seated or standing or moving. But just get a sense of where you are. You're currently on Earth. You're currently in a space where you are safe and protected. And no matter what the chatter in the skull says for the next 5 minutes, love and tolerance becomes our code every time we invite the chatter to the sound of our breath. So every time you drift, every time you get distracted today, be reminded that there is the sound of your breath that will keep you in neutrality. It will remind you that you're alive. So go ahead and get comfortable in your skin, allowing ease and space to be invited into your body. There is a kind of effortless effort that comes with us being mindful of how we breathe. So just bring your attention to your inhales and your exhales. As you get more comfortable in your body, allow your shoulders to fall away from your ears. As if gravity was pulling you closer and closer, you start allowing your body to get heavier, more humbled. As you allow yourself to fall into your own skin, you allow your mind to come back into your body. Moving the shoulders away from your ears. Relaxing the skin to your face. And so serenity is becoming more accessible to you in this moment. But if you allowed life's interruptions to pause you for a moment, and so whatever comes up in your body in this moment becomes an opportunity. So relax the shoulders away from your ears. Relax the space behind your eyebrows. Bringing your focus back to your breath. As you inhale, you rise. As you exhale, you fall. And so your lungs get bigger, larger than life. And then your belly gets smaller, emptier, with what doesn't serve you in excess. Melting the space between your eyebrows. You allow your eyes to be soft. Your gaze softens. Your mind softens. Your ideals soften. Breathing in. Breathing out. And so in this moment, you get a chance to ask. You get a chance to ask for what you need. And so I ask you, my fellows, what is it that you really need in this moment? What is it that you can earnestly ask for without selfish motives? Without the need to justify or explain what your ask is. What is it that you're asking your Creator for? And so it says, whatever our ideals turn out to be, we must be willing to grow toward it. We must be willing to make amends where we have done harm, provided that we do not bring about still more harm in so doing. So where in your body are you willing to make amends with you, with your Creator, with this earth? Take a deep breath in, expand from your center. Exhale and empty. And so in meditation, we ask God what we should do about each specific matter. The right answer will come if we want it. As you breathe in, you expand. As you breathe out, you empty. Rising tall with an inhale and falling closer to the ground with an exhale. And so your thoughts and feelings and sensations will rise. Whatever you have carried with you into this room and in this moment will show up. Do you have the courage? Do you have the willingness you empty. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Bring your full attention to noticing each in-breath as it enters your lungs, as it travels through your magical body. It expands your belly. It expands the possibilities that are infinite. And notice each out-breath as your belly contracts and the air moves up through the lungs, back through the nostrils or your mouth. So invite your full attention to flow with your breath. Noticing how your inhales are different from your exhales. Turning more deeply inward. Begin to let go of noises around you, even though they exist. So if you're distracted by sounds in the room, simply notice them and bring your attention back to your breath without the need to change anything or anyone, without the need to control the breath, yourself or anyone else. Just observe and accept your experience in this moment. The liar will show up with judgment, with resentment, with plans and designs. Just notice and come back to the sound of your breath. And so the spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. This is the moment you get to live the spiritual theory of growing in expansion, growing in kindness and love. So soften your chest if you're holding on to the muscles around your heart. As you inhale and as you exhale, you get an opportunity to soften, to dissolve, to unclench and let something flow. Your emotions will rise. Sensations will rise. And so as your emotions come up, can you see it just like the mist that rises from a beautiful lake and just starts flowing without making a fuss? It just exists. So breathe in, my beautiful fellows. There are no mistakes in God's world. There must be a good reason why everything is exactly the way it is. Breathing in. Breathing out. And for the next few moments, you get an opportunity to tap into the frequency of gratitude. This beautiful book reminds us that all of our powers are God-given and therefore good. We get to ask God for strength and direction. In fact, we get to pick a God of our own understanding. So if you had the opportunity to pick a God of your own, what would she look like? What would he sound like? How would they move? What sensations and feelings can arise when you conceptualize your own love? How would you describe your Creator? Sound of your breath. Inhale and expand in love. Exhale and empty what does not belong. This is your opportunity to draw your Creator close to you through the sound of your breath, through your willingness to be here, and regardless of where the distractions will show up, where the discomfort might be. You get to stay here for a moment, imagining the space between your thoughts expanding, visualizing the space between your bones, your joints, the smallest particles of your existence expanding. And so we ask God to mold our ideals. Where do you need to ask your Creator to mold your powers? All of your powers are God-given and therefore good. Your powers are not to be used lightly or selfishly. Your powers are not to be used for the purpose of selfishness. God will see that you are sustained. Your powers are not to be despised or loathed. So I ask you, my beautiful siblings, Where are you self-loathing? Where are you speaking yourself in a way that you would never speak to a friend? Where are you pointing yourself to guilt, shame, distrust, and suspicion? Relaxing your shoulders. Relax your cheekbones. If you're pressing your teeth onto one another, let there be space between your jaws. And as if gravity was pulling you closer and closer to earth, can you let go of the weight you keep carrying on your shoulders? And allow gravity to remove from you the imperious urge to know everything, to have an answer for everything. Allow the next few moments to become about rest. Your ability to see that you are worthy. To see that your Creator wants you in your helpfulness, in your usefulness, in your maximum service to life. So breathe in, my beautiful fellows. Breathe out and empty your mind, accepting all without judgment, without justifications, without validation or approval from the earthly. Relax your shoulders. Relax the content of your belly. And just allow the next minute to be about grounding your soul and receiving what you asked for. Remember that we are specific about each matter. So we ask our Creator. In distinct terms, with clarity, with kindness, with humility. Breathing in, breathing out. Fill up your lungs. Empty your prejudice. Fill up your lungs with what brings you closer to your Creator. And empty your body with what blocks you. Breathing in. Breathing. Allow a moment of silence to fall upon you, a moment of integration, a moment of absorption, a moment to receive the energy created in this room, and a moment for me to thank you for your ability to stay in your breath, in the now, especially earlier when my circumstances changed with a fire alarm going off. You managed to stay in your body and in your intention to be here. Can you just recognize that as a point of growth and strength just for today? That you stayed and you're here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and sigh it out. Maybe let go of a sound. With your next breath, send breath to those who cannot be in these rooms, who are not in these rooms, who may never have access to these rooms. Send your breath to the suffering addict who is yet to find us. Send an invitation to the soul who wants this way of life, who wants a moment of serenity and peace. With your second breath, send your breath to those who have loved ones in the hospitals, those who are waiting for some medical news or miracles, those who have lost their loved ones, those who are regaining their ability to see grief as a point of growth. And with your third breath, send your breath to all children in the world. Human children, animal children, plants children, minerals children. Lay aside your prejudice. Send your breath to all children around the world and their parents, their guardians, their loved ones, even the ones who may never find their children again or regain a relationship with them. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and let it go. If there's something that you need to leave behind, this would be the moment for you to leave the thought behind. As you transition back into your physical, you can move your fingers and your toes and send a prayer to someone who might not be able to. And so in that, you get to be mindful of what you have without the fear of losing.